Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. If you live and breathe purple and gold, then you're in the right place, because today we've got a story that could completely reshape how we view this Lakers playoff run. Something is brewing in Los Angeles, and it might just be the spark that lights a fire under the entire roster, or the pressure point that could make it all come crashing down. And no, we're not talking about LeBron, AD, or even Austin Reeves. We're talking about a move behind the scenes, subtle, quiet, and under the radar, that might have the biggest impact on the Lakers' postseason hopes. Could the fate of this season rest not in the hands of the stars, but in the voice behind the bench? Could a first-year head coach with zero playoff experience as a leader end up outsmarting some of the best minds in the Western Conference? And how exactly does J.J. Redick, yes, that J.J. Redick, plan to guide this loaded Lakers team through what could be the most brutal playoff path in years? Stick around, because we're going to break it all down, not just the what, but the why, the how, and the wild what-ifs that might lie ahead. Now, with the Lakers officially locking in the third seed, the attention has rightly been on the big names. LeBron is looking fresh, Anthony Davis has been dominant defensively, and Luka Doncic, yes, new Lakers star Luka Doncic, has been everything fans hoped he would be and more. That trio has elevated LA back to title contention. But let's be honest here, we've seen this movie before. Star power gets you headlines. Depth wins you series. And that's where this story gets a whole lot more interesting. Behind the glamour of Hollywood and the highlight reels of LeBron and Luka, something very intentional has been happening. Something strategic. The Lakers, quietly and methodically, have been transforming their supporting cast into what could be the deepest rotation in the West. Not flashy, but smart. Versatile. Tailored for postseason basketball. And the man pulling those strings? J.J. Redick. Now let's hit pause here and really think about this. J.J. Redick was a respected shooter, a savvy veteran, and one of the most articulate analysts in the game just a year ago. But head coach? For a contending team, in a market as intense and unforgiving as Los Angeles? It raised eyebrows. But fast forward to today, and Redick isn't just surviving, he's thriving. The Lakers didn't just win games. They played chess, matchup manipulation, rotational fluidity, defensive versatility. This team adapts in a way we haven't seen in years. And here's the stat that'll blow your mind. Under J.J. Redick, the Lakers posted a top 5 net rating in clutch time and were one of only a handful of teams in the league to beat playoff-bound opponents more often than not. Against teams above .500, the Lakers went 21-19. That's not just good, that's battle-tested. But let's zoom in even further. Because the playoffs aren't just about winning games, they're about winning matchups. And Redick has quietly been prepping for that all season long. He's been tinkering with lineups, staggering stars, experimenting with schemes. And now, as the Lakers prepare to face a Timberwolves team that's bruising, big, and defensively elite, it's time to ask, is J.J. Redick actually the X factor of this playoff run? Think about it, the Wolves are built to punish you physically. Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, and of course, the explosive Anthony Edwards. They grind you down. They force you into half-court basketball. They don't give you anything easy. So how do you beat that? You have to outthink them. You need a coach who sees the adjustments before they happen, who knows when to go small, when to go big, when to trap, when to switch, when to go zone. And Redick, despite the zero playoff coaching experience, might just be the most modern basketball mind on the sidelines this postseason. Some insiders are even whispering, is J.J. Redick the next great NBA head coach? Could this postseason be his coming-out party? But let's not stop there, because coaching is only part of the equation. If Redick is going to make noise in these playoffs, he's going to need his weapons. Enter the role players, the unsung heroes, the guys who don't make the highlight reels, but win you games when the lights are brightest. Let's talk about Rui Hachimura first. Rui has quietly had one of the most efficient scoring seasons of his career. He's shooting over 50% from the field, knocking down his mid-range shots, and punishing mismatches in the post. Against a team like Minnesota, which likes to funnel drives into the paint but struggles to contain skilled forwards in the mid-range, Rui could feast. Could Rui become the unexpected 18 points per game guy that tilts the series? Could he be the one who forces the Wolves to take Gobert off the floor? Don't laugh. It's happened before. The playoffs are all about creating chaos, and Rue is exactly the type of player who thrives when matchups start to break down. And then there's Jared Vanderbilt. He's not flashy. He's not a scorer. But he's a disruptor. When he's healthy, he changes the tone of the game defensively. And against a guy like Anthony Edwards, his ability to defend one-on-one, fight through screens, and keep constant pressure on the ball could be a series-defining factor. The Lakers only need Vanderbilt to do one thing: slow down Ant. And if he can, that could swing this entire matchup. But what about Dorian Finney-Smith? This is where things get really interesting. DFS was a trade deadline pickup that flew under the radar, but his impact has been massive. He guards wings. He hits corner threes. He spaces the floor without demanding the ball. Every championship team has a guy like Dorian, the low-maintenance, high-IQ, two-way glue guy. In a playoff series where spacing is premium and every possession counts, DFS might be Redick's most trusted piece. Could he be the Robert Horry of this era, a quiet assassin who hits the shot that breaks the opponent's back? And don't forget Gabe Vincent. Yes, his shooting has been inconsistent. Yes, he struggled against Minnesota during the regular season. But Gabe has playoff pedigree. He was a starter on a finals team just last year. He knows what it takes. He's fearless. And when the moment gets big, Gabe doesn't shrink. Could he have one of those out-of-nowhere games that changes the momentum of a series? And finally, Jackson Hayes, maybe the most unpredictable of them all. His energy, athleticism, and ability to play off the bench as a rim protector and lob threat could be exactly what the Lakers need in short bursts. If Gobert starts dominating the boards, expect Redick to throw Hayes out there to neutralize the glass and run in transition. So when you really zoom out, who's the true X factor here? Could it be Rue with his scoring? Vanderbilt with his defense? DFS with his reliability? Gabe with his playoff guts? Hayes with his energy? Or could it be JJ Redick himself, pulling every lever from the sideline? Let's put it this way. If the Lakers make it out of the first round, especially against a tough Timberwolves team, don't be surprised if the national conversation shifts from "Can LeBron do it again?" to "Is JJ Redick the real deal?" And chemistry doesn't just come from good vibes, it's fostered by leadership. That's where LeBron's influence continues to loom large. While Redick might be calling the plays, LeBron is still the on-court general. His ability to manage tempo, calm the chaos, and execute down the stretch gives Redick a second coach in uniform. Few teams have that luxury. But what's fascinating is how Redick has earned LeBron's respect. That's no small feat. We've seen LeBron clash with coaches in the past. But with Redick, there's a mutual trust, a basketball brain recognizing another. Redick's attention to detail, his communication style, his ability to speak the player's language, all of it has helped this group buy in. And speaking of buy-in, let's not overlook the role of the front office. Rob Pelinka and company didn't just stack talent, they tailored the roster to fit Redick's vision. Defensive versatility, positional flexibility, shooters who don't need the ball. This was a team built with a clear identity in mind. And now we're about to see that vision tested under fire. Another major element, the Lakers' ability to shift gears. They can play fast with Doncic initiating in transition. They can slow it down and grind through half-court sets. They can defend with size or switch with speed. In a postseason full of high-stakes chess matches, versatility is currency, and the Lakers might be the richest team left on the board. There's also something to be said about the underdog mindset. Even as a third seed, the Lakers have spent much of the season flying under the radar. Injuries, load management, and media focus elsewhere have kept them somewhat in the shadows. But now, they've got that dangerous mix of talent and motivation. A chip on the shoulder never hurts. And let's be real, Redick knows that narrative matters. He's spent years in front of a microphone. He understands how media shapes perception. Don't be surprised if he uses that to his advantage, keeping pressure off his stars while quietly setting the stage for a statement postseason. But no matter how sharp the strategy is, the playoffs always come down to execution in the final 5 minutes. That's where habits, repetition, and trust come into play. Redick has implemented end-of-game scenarios relentlessly in practice. He's pushed his team to treat every possession like it's Game 7. Now we'll see if that preparation pays off. There's also intrigue in how Redick has empowered his assistant coaches. Chris Gent, Rajon Rondo, and Phil Handy have all had clear responsibilities throughout the season. It's been a collaborative effort, and that's allowed Redick to operate more like a CEO than a micromanager. That leadership style could be crucial in the heat of playoff moments. One more wrinkle: Redick's willingness to lean into analytics. Lineup data, shot profiles, matchup trends. He's embraced the numbers without letting them dictate every move. It's a balance that not every coach gets right. And in a tight series, one small edge from the data could tilt the game. Redick is looking for those 2% advantages. Let's also not forget the intangibles. Redick was a competitor, a grinder, a guy who knew his limitations and squeezed every drop out of his career. That edge, that hunger, it's baked into how he leads. He expects accountability. He expects effort. And when you combine that with elite basketball IQ, you get a team that reflects its coach's DNA. Now let's zoom out again. This series against Minnesota might be the first step in a much larger story. If the Lakers can get through the Wolves, they could build serious momentum. The West is brutal, but momentum is everything in the playoffs. And no one rides a wave like the Lakers when they get hot. And if this group finds its rhythm, look out. A deep playoff run could validate every decision Redick and the front office made this season. It could shift how teams around the league think about hiring ex-players. It could launch Redick into the coaching elite faster than anyone anticipated. That opens the door for guys like Rajon Rondo, who's already on the Lakers bench, soaking in the process. Or even players still active now, watching how Redick handles the pressure and thinking, maybe I could do that someday. In a league always looking for the next edge, Redick could be the start of a coaching revolution. And speaking of revolutions, the Lakers' offense has quietly been evolving. Yes, Doncic is the engine. His usage rate and playmaking are elite, but it's how Redick has layered actions off the ball that really stands out. The constant movement, the weak side cuts, the flare screens. This isn't your typical ISO-heavy Lakers team. It's a modern offense with old-school discipline. Watch closely, and you'll see it. Decoy actions to free up shooters, cross screens that open the lane for AD, drag screens in transition to confuse defenders. Redick has turned the Lakers into a team that punishes mistakes. And in the playoffs, every mistake matters. And defensively, this team is hunting mismatches. Not just to exploit offensively, but to neutralize the opponent's rhythm. Redick has drilled them on recognizing weak links. If someone's struggling to defend the pick and roll, attack it over and over. If a bench player is cold, trap the ball, force it out of the star's hands, and live with the results. Even the Lakers' film sessions have changed. Reports out of El Segundo say Redick's meetings are short, sharp, and focused. No wasted time, just clear adjustments, specific feedback, and accountability. Veterans respect it. Young guys learn from it. It's built a culture of urgency without panic. And that culture might be the most important piece of all. Because let's be honest, the Lakers have had rosters with more top-end talent. They've had seasons with more regular season wins. But they haven't always had this kind of cohesion, this kind of shared purpose. That's what wins in May and June. There's also a fascinating psychological edge to Redick's presence. He's been on the other side of this. He's faced LeBron in the playoffs. He's been in Game 7s. He's had to chase shooters around screens for 40 minutes. So when he tells his players what to expect, he's not guessing. He's lived it. And that experience, even without the coaching label, gives him credibility. Not in a theoretical sense, in a lived, earned way. When he talks about handling pressure, he's not reading from a manual. He's speaking from the scars of postseason battles. Now let's talk about Doncic again, because while the spotlight is usually on LeBron, Luka might be the key to unlocking the Wolves. His ability to slow the game down, manipulate defenses, and bait help could tear Minnesota's defensive structure apart. If the Lakers hit their threes early, Doncic's gravity will become a nightmare to contain. But what's impressed most is Luka's maturity since joining the Lakers. He's not hunting stats. He's playing within the system. He's trusting Redick. That synergy between star and coach is rare, and it's giving the Lakers a dual engine that no team wants to deal with in a 7-game series. And don't forget AD. He might not be the most vocal guy, but his defensive presence is unmatched when he's locked in. Redick has challenged him to be the anchor, communicator, the eraser at the rim. And Davis has responded. Against Minnesota's size, he'll need to be all of that and more. Another name to watch? Max Christie. The young guard has had flashes of brilliance this season, particularly on the defensive end. If Redick decides to tighten the rotation, Christie might be his secret weapon against Minnesota's guards. A quick burst of energy, a key stop, a timely three, it's all possible. And hey, it's not just about beating Minnesota. This could be the beginning of something much bigger. A playoff run that cements Redick's legacy, transforms role players into household names, and maybe, just maybe, ends with a banner in the rafters. But what do you think about all of this? Is Rue the secret weapon? Can Vanderbilt slow down Ant? Will Redick rise or fold under pressure? I seriously want to know. Drop your thoughts down in the comments below, because this could go so many different ways. I can't wait to read what you guys are thinking. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got more breakdowns, predictions, and playoff coverage coming your way every single day. Until next time, stay locked in, Laker Nation.